welcome to the Springboard Digital Marketing Office Hours. I am your host, Lauren Brown. I'm the community lead for the digital marketing division. I'm so excited today about to have our guest, Anne of Core Impact Strategy. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So Anne believes in the power of business to do good. She has 13 years of brand management experience at Procter & Gamble. That experience included 9 years in the role of sustainability brand manager, where she was responsible for marketing the company's social and environmental initiatives. Now she is the owner of Core Impact. She helps companies share their story by designing strategy, programs, and marketing that integrate sustainability and social impact efforts into their business strategy. I'll jump right into our questions. On your website, you state that marketing should be the engine for meaningful impact, not meaningless consumption. Where do you begin with the client to communicate that positive impact can fit with the goal of gaining and retaining more customers?
When I first start working with a client or kind of have discussions about working together, no one comes and sort of assumes that their marketing is not well-intentioned. And so the conversation is more around evaluating whether the approaches that they're using meet the needs of who their customer base is. What it really starts with is understanding what does your product offer and who is your customer and what their needs are. So it's basically kind of marketing 101, starting with understanding the customer. And it's more about matchmaking. That's how I kind of like to think about marketing. People have needs and they're looking for products and services to meet those needs. And companies or nonprofits have products and services to address those needs. And so it's about people finding each other. And we need to understand, how do we communicate in an effective way to change people's behavior for environmental purposes or their own health and safety.
So let me back up a little bit. Let me ask you, speaking of marketing training, let's dive into your background. How did you get started in the marketing world?
The way I fell in love with marketing was actually working at a beer company, and found that I love business and I loved marketing, although really that was pretty fun because everyone just loves beer. So I kind of fell in love with business and went to work at Procter & Gamble. So I was there for about 15 years with you mentioned in the introduction, with a mix of roles in beauty care and then also in corporate marketing and sustainability. And then I left the company about 4 or 5 years ago to start my business now, Core Impact.
Well, you recently shared on LinkedIn a Fast Company article that said that 68% of US execs admit their companies are guilty of greenwashing, or basically marketing spin in which green marketing is deceptively used to persuade customers. So the question is, so perhaps their expressed intentions are good, but are they not measured by what they are claiming?
I would say generally a perception among the public that big companies are bad and do the polluting, and then these small upstarts that have great purpose and sustainable products are much better for the environment and the world. One of the challenges comes with communicating. I mean, you have often very short amount of words or time to communicate your message. So what ends up happening is that the idea of what is going on is distilled down into this really short soundbite that can be kind of misleading. A simple example would be, say you make a $100,000 donation to the Red Cross, and then you talk about that donation in a Super Bowl ad that costs $3.5 million. Like, that's not a great balance. So I think companies just have to be careful about what are they really doing and what are they saying and how much do those line up.
So I want to kind of reverse back a little bit and kind of go back to your time, briefly touch on your career path at P&G. Can you share how you got your foot in the door?
So I was coming out of undergrad. I knew I liked business and I wanted to understand sort of how to run a business. And the best way to do that at a junior level in your career was a brand management structure. And I ruthlessly applied or tried to contact somebody through networking that I knew in all of these kind of companies. And P&G, I think, was somewhat unique in that it primarily hired people straight out of school as entry-level positions. But that's both changing at P&G and also not true of the whole industry. But you can really learn marketing in so many different ways. And there's so many nuances and specifics. You can be experts in media or digital or kind of, growth marketing or whatever. There's lots of different facets and kind of nuances of it that you can be an expert in.
Yes, great points. Such great points. Let's now look at the present day and talk core impact strategy, which is awesome. You got to tell us what it's like running your own consultancy.
It's awesome. I would say the approach that I take is, because I was always on the client side, I feel like I'm still the client, even though I'm now on the client service side. And what I mean by that is I very much integrate myself into the team. In many cases, I act as like a fractional or interim marketing director or chief marketing officer for a lot of my team, for a lot of my the companies I work with. So I'm able to help their teams grow and develop kind of new skills and frameworks for how to deliver the work. But it's really been gratifying to see how you can do what you love and do it on your own terms too. That's been really fun also.
So this is personally my favorite part. We're now going to kind of jump into a game. We're done with the questions per se, but it's called Underrated, Overrated. And we share some ideas, events, developments in the world of marketing, and you decide if they're underrated, overrated, and why. The first one is B Corps or B Corporations. Underrated, overrated, and why?
I would say underrated. I think the intent of it is great. And the companies that seek B Corp certification are really trying to do business differently. I think it really does promote changes in how businesses are operated. The two downsides I would say are that consumers aren't really that aware of it. So the more consumers become aware and seek out B Corps to purchase, that will drive even more companies to try to seek that certification. And then the other thing I would say is that it's sort of a good and a bad. It's a very well-rounded scoring system. It kind of gives you points for doing like a few things in a lot of areas.
Okay, so we got you under like neutral to underrated, right?
Yeah, I would say underrated.
Okay, so the next one, the triple bottom line, or measuring social, environmental, and financial success of a for-profit. Is that underrated, overrated, and why?
Well, I mean, I guess I would say underrated again. To me, it falls in the same category of B Corp. So B Corp, I would basically say, is a specific measurement system of triple bottom line. But triple bottom line is more of like a general concept. Mm-hmm. I'm so much in this world that many people already buy into this concept. But for a lot of companies probably don't. So I would say, I think every company should do this. Companies exist, in my opinion, to serve society more broadly. And so it's about taking responsibility for your actions, not just ones that are, legally complied or taxed or whatever. And so I think understanding your impact is a critical part of kind of being a productive member of society.
So that was a great answer. So last but not least, I'm very interested to hear your perspective of this one. Storytelling as brand strategy. Is that underrated, overrated, and why?
So I think it's important, but I'd probably say overrated. I do think brands need to tell stories, but sort of some sense broader than a single-minded idea of what they're about, like a history to them, maybe a personality. And then I think the story can kind of come behind that. An example of this is I recently bought glasses from Warby Parker. It was like a great in-store experience. The glasses came quickly. They were lower than the other, high-end prescription ones. When I got my glasses, they had in the little container, they had a cleaning cloth that had the story of Warby Parker in 100 words. I think that is kind of like the support of it. But had I not understood like the quality and the value and what is differentiated, I never would have gotten to that in the first place. So there's a ton of discussion of storytelling, which I do think is really important. But if we miss the simplicity of we are, this brand or this company or this nonprofit or whatever it is about this one thing, that allows everybody to kind of coalesce around what you're about and create clarity and simplicity that you can then reinforce in everyone's mind, and you become more memorable. That would be my response. My one overrated for the day.
I knew this whole interview has been a slam dunk. Truly, it has been an honor to be able to you be here with us and be able to answer questions and even kind of play the rapid fire game. But I love what you said about storytelling. Like I said, I always have my own takeaways and notes from these awesome interviews. So I really, really want to say thank you for your time. And this has truly been a pleasure and an honor to be able to interview with you. And don't forget, I'm going to make sure I put Anne's information in our Slack channel so you can learn more about core impact strategy. And also we'll connect you to Anne's LinkedIn account so you can kind of connect and network. We're always trying to help our students at Springboard get connected. And like I said, we don't want anybody feeling like they're on an island. So thank you again for your time. And you have truly been an awesome person to interview.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.